네. 안녕하십니까. 오늘 두 번째 발표를 맡게 된 석사과정 변승환이라고 합니다. 저는 오늘 이번에 아이제카스에 제출한 이 루타핸드에 관한 논문을 말씀드릴 예정입니다. 그리고 제가 이번에 아이제카스 이카스 옵션으로 제출을 하였는데 제가 다음 주에 이카스에 발표를 하게 되면서 한번 영어로 오늘 한번 미리 연습을 해보자는 조언을 주셔서 한번 영어로 진행을 해볼 계획입니다. And now to talk about the IJCAS. The title of our paper was The Luta Hand, Development of a Lightweight Underactuated Three-Fingered Robotic Hand for Adaptive Grasping. As the title shows, it is a very lightweight hand with three fingered. To first talk about the motivation, we all know that the hand is the robot's end effector, and its mass directly eats into available payload and dynamic performance. So therefore, our objective was to reduce end effector's weight while preserving grasp capability. And to that end, we pursued several strategies that cut the part count yet retained functional grasps, allowing the hand to stay light without sacrificing the performance. The hand was implemented with mainly three mechanisms. The first one was that three fingers were actuated with one single motor. So as you can see in the figure 1, there are three fingers of the hand, and all these three fingers were actuated with one main motor in this blue mark. And secondly, adaptive grasping was enabled. So as I said earlier, there was only one motor that is driving the flexion of all three fingers. However, with the enabling the adaptive grasping, the hand could grasp diverse kinds of objects with under-actuated system. And lastly, most of the metallic components were replaced with simple light parts with some other kinds of mechanism that I'm gonna talk about later on. So to talk more deeply about the simultaneous actuation with one single motor, as you can see in the figure 1, the tendon starts from the motor and moves to the distal of the finger, then returns, and moves to the other finger and returns, and moves to the remaining finger and returns to the motor that began. So through this method, with the rotation of the one motor, all three fingers are actuated. And the point of this mechanism is that the tendon force is first rotated to the thumb and index. In this way, when the motor rotates, the thumb and index move first and pinch grasping is enabled. As shown in figure 2, the thumb and index moved first and pinch grabs the object. And to add on, when used with simultaneous routing of the tendon, the friction could be the problem. However, in this paper, we used some pulley and PTFE tubes to solve this problem. So in figure 1, there are about 6 pulleys that are embedded in the hand. And also there are a lot of PTF tubes along the tendon pads. So using these parts, we could reduce the effect of the friction. And to talk about the adaptive grasping, as shown in figure 1, based with the tendon rotating discussed earlier, when the motor rotates and the finger missed an object, the finger stops. So in figure 1, the thumb and index has met the object and it has stopped. However, the middle finger has not met the object, and which means that there are still remaining tendon displacement for the motor. So it means that even when two fingers miss the object and stops, the motor still rotates and the remaining fingers flex. To talk more about this, as shown in figure 2, when middle finger is fixed with meeting the object, the thumb and index still flexes, which means that even with rotated with one single actuator, three fingers adaptively moves to meet an object. And through this mechanism, the finger adjusts adaptively to the object. So it is shown in simple GIF file here with the hand adjusting to an object. And to talk about the lightweight part, the TPU rolling contact joint and lateral latex was the main part. So conventionally, rolling contact joint was made with several mechanical components to guide the motion. However, in this research, we've replaced it with simple TPU or CJ. It is marked green part in here, and it is very light while it maintains the guidance of the motion. And also, it creates the restorative force. And for the lateral latex ligament, in conventional method and shown in figure 2 with blue marked, it was used to not disturb the movement of the hand while suppressing the undesired movement. So in conventional method, lateral latex ligament was placed at the center of the rotation. However, in our study, we placed it a little bit slightly posterior to the center of the rotation. And in this way, it maintained the conventional role while making a restorative force. So basically, two components with TPU, RCJ, and lateral latex ligaments both created a restorative force. And this restorative force enabled the extension of the finger, which means that there is no need for other parts for making the force of extension. To validate the hand, 5 experiments were conducted. 3 quantitative experiments with repeatability, adaptive grasping, and fingertip force were validated, and 2 qualitative experiments were conducted with grasp taxonomy and pick and place. For the first experiment, repeatability was checked with motion capture system. Thanks to the help of the senior Ji-hyun, hand's position was recorded while the movement with the motion capture system. Often in under-actuated design, the repeatability is the problem because the motor could not precisely move its finger. However, the result of this experiment shows that average offset was from 0.05 to 0.14 millimeter, which is quite low. And for the second experiment, adaptive grasping was validated. It was checked with the FT sensor. So in figure 2A, you can see that FT sensor lies at the base with connected to the spring, and the spring is connected to the object while the hand pulls the object. And in this experiment, the hand was actuated with only single command while it grasped 7 types of object from 10 millimeter to 120 millimeters. And as the result shows, the hand could successfully grasp diverse sizes of object with only single command, and which shows the capability of adaptive grasping. And for the third experiment, the payload capacity of the fingertip was validated. So for the result of the figure B, it shows when only one finger was actuated, and the result shows the average payload of 5.3 Newton. And when two fingers were actuated, the average fingertip force was 9.3 Newton. And for the fourth experiment, the grasp taxonomy were validated. In this experiment, 9 kinds of objects were used, and this taxonomy was based on the 16 grasp types, with this hand executing 14 grasp types. Out of 16, 2 grasp types were unavailable, and it was due to the number of the fingers. For the thumb 3 fingers, there was need for 4 fingers, and for the thumb 4 finger, there was need for 5 fingers, while this hand had only 3 fingers. And for the fifth experiment, it was real-time pick-and-place experiment. So our goal was that Tokabi was attached with the Luta hand, and we wanted the Tokabi to sort the object into non-tool and tool. With the help of the senior Jae-yong, Eunho, and Dongjun, we used the avatar system to move the Tokabi, and the goal was to sort these 7 objects into non-tool container and tool containers. There's a short video showing the result of this experiment. So, the video that I showed earlier was done in 1 minute and 20 seconds, and this trial was done 3 times. And during all the trials, only 1 time was missed due to the missed grab. And completion time decreased across the 3 runs. So at the first time, it took about 174 seconds. And for the second time, it took about 117 seconds. And for the last time, it took about 1 minute and 30 seconds. It consistently decreased with the operator familiarization. And this result shows that depending on the object geometry, the hand could successfully execute power grabs and precision grabs while maintaining stability during whole arm motion. And this result indicate the reliable dynamic grasp performance of the hand. To conclude, the Luta hand is a very lightweight hand with 184 grams, and its fingertip force is about 5 Newton, and its repeatability error is about 0.05 to 0.14 millimeter, which is quite low, and its grasp taxonomy was executed with 14 types out of 16. And also, this hand was validated with real-time pick-and-place experiment. And I really want to thanks to Senior Eunho and Seungbin and Sungkyung for helping the speaker. And that's all for the presentation. Thank you.